Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would anyone consider making a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. I will say that under information items, the Native American Parent Advisory Committee update will happen at a later meeting because of an illness, a couple of illnesses. With that, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. If there's anyone who wishes to speak to an agenda item, please fill out a card that's in the back and give that to Sarah. With that, our next item is to approve the consent agenda. It's our practice not to read all of those items in the consent agenda that are part of the packet, but if a board member wants further discussion or wants to pull out a certain item, certainly now would be the time to do that.
I move we approve the consent agenda as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. Now, for the best part of the meeting, Principal Oki, we have student spotlight.
Hello, and we are so excited to be here, aren't we? I am accompanied tonight by a couple of first graders. I have Ben Borslin, and he's the son of Pam Connor and Dave Borslin. And Ben, you are in Mrs. Schultz's first grade class. Why don't you go ahead and introduce who you brought tonight, besides your mom and your dad?
My sister Charlotte,
And what grade is Charlotte in?
third.
Third grade, so she came and she's your biggest fan, right? And I also have Bergen Carter with me, and Bergen is in Mrs. Eiler's first grade class. And Bergen is the daughter of Caitlin and Jeremy Carter. But who else do you have here? They took 2 rows.
My brothers and my sister,
And what are your brothers' names?
Pierce and Forrest.
And Pierce goes to school here too, doesn't he?
Yes,
What grade is he?
third.
Then it changes every year, doesn't it? Yeah. And how about your sister?
Fifth,
She's in 5th grade. What's her name?
Elise.
Elise, so thank you so much for introducing them, and both of these students were nominated. We've started something this year, and it's the principals list, and they are nominated by the staff of South Elementary for just students that are consistently showing Star Pride to other students. So it may be showing kindness, and the nominations come from all of our different staff members, so maybe it's kindness and helping the custodian, or the way that they're treating other students, or some of the support staff can always count on these students to help. So both of these students were nominated just because of their kindness and their willingness to always help out and be a friend to others. So they're the kind of students that we really enjoy having at South. And you know what? When someone's having a tough day, we know that we can count on some of these students to help out. So both of them were recognized as September Principals List students. I had a chance to interview them today, and we talked a little bit about what some of their favorite things are. So Ben, why don't you start for us and tell us what's your favorite thing about being in first grade at South?
The Imagination Station.
And why don't you tell them what is the Imagination Station?
It's a room where you can play.
And how many do we have?
3.
We have 3. So the Imagination Station was something that we started last year, and it was through the $50,000 grant that we were given anonymously. And we used it to purchase all kinds of toys for kids to play with. So what are some of the things in there? You tell them. What are some of your favorite things?
Trampoline.
Okay, what else is in there?
Some Legos.
Okay, so we have everything from fine motor activities to large motor, and it's just a place for kids to collaborate. And as we know, when you're this age, your play is your work. So it's a nice way to incorporate that in. And how about you, Bergen? What's your favorite thing?
Our classroom.
And what are some things that you like to do in the classroom?
Read. Play with friends.
And what things in the classroom do you like to play? How about that math? Some of the math games that you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have it's all game-like formats that they use for their math center times, so all of the classrooms have those embedded right as part of their program. I also had a chance to ask them what are some things that they like to do when they're not in school. So, Bergen, what do you like to do when you're not at school?
Play in my room with Duplos.
So, kind of a Lego master as well. Bigger Duplos with the Duplos. Okay. And Ben, how about you when you're not in school?
Play outside.
Tell them what you like to play.
Sledding. Night of the museum.
Okay, yeah, he was telling me a little bit about Night of the Museum, and it sounds a lot like tag a little bit, except it has the museum element to it, doesn't it? All right, and then they also shared with me what they'd like to do when they grow up. So what are you going to do when you grow up, Ben?
Be a teacher.
And I asked him what grade?
First.
First grade. And what did Mrs. Elke tell you when you said that? What should you do after you've given that?
A principal.
Yeah. On to replace me. And how about you, Bergen? What would you like to do? A scientist. Because she's really liking that exploration time, aren't you?
Yes.
So, do you have any questions for our guests?
Have either of you guys been on any fun field trips yet this year?
No.
Well, what in the world are we doing? Okay, tough question. All right, there we go.
Well, we did have the fire trucks came to us, didn't they? And the police officer Hughes came to us. We do a lot of our field trips. And have you gone up to Gustavus?
No.
Nope, not yet.
They really have done nothing, Mrs. Elkin.
Well, we're so busy in the imagination station.
Yeah,
We
that's like a
have
field
things planned for the spring, but we'll get on that, okay? Anything else? All right, well, thank you for letting us come and putting the spotlight on these wonderful students.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much,
you.
Bergen. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
And I say this to every student spotlight member, you can stay for the rest of the meeting, but you're not required. So thank you very much for coming.
Very
Appreciate it. I'm sorry we got the room next to the hotel ice machine for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we have a student council report. We'll move on to action items. Our first action item is consider approval of the second/final reading of revisions to the policy manual. Superintendent Gronson?
Very good. We have one policy before you, and that's because it was a heavy lift. There was lots of discussion. It's policy 902 regarding the public use of facilities. And so we are redesigning our process for how the community uses it. Our goal was to make it easier for community members to use our facilities and to clarify the process. A little bit later in the informational section, we'll be talking about the fee structure that goes along with that. But with that, I don't know if any of the committee members have anything to add to that.
About the
Facilities and equipment?
I think it was a useful exercise for the committee to go through and look at the policies that were probably in place since
the new facility opened and a chance to really analyze and look at how it's being used and how it could best be used in the most accessible and appropriate ways. And so I think it was a useful exercise for the committee.
And how the fee structure can support what we think the use of the facility should
So
benefit the
approving the
community.
policy, are we approving the fee structure, or is the fee structure something that's
No.
just kind of set by administration and then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I have a question concerning the firearms provision. In our trap shooting activity, how do our students get to and from the activity?
On Sunday afternoons, so parents. The year I did it, right, Drew?
I
Yeah.
believe that's still the case, yeah.
It's been Sunday afternoons, so.
I just wondered
No.
if they were on a bus or something.
No. It's one of those weird kind of, I mean, it is affiliated with the school, but it's not like a sport where you go on the bus and do that. But you can letter in it, I think. I don't know. It's a whole thing, but
Some districts do have it as a official activity, and others have it as more of a club sport. So for us, it's more of a club sport.
And isn't that how the high school league looks at it? They don't,
Oh, no, it's part of the Minnesota High School League.
right, but it's not, it's different than the sports, I think. I don't know, it's recognized but not sanctioned or something like that.
I would have to look into that. I'm
I,
not sure.
I can't remember the terms that were used,
Mhm.
but I think there's a difference between.
they're stuck with, I mean, kind of like dance, like sometimes you can have a dance team, but you're not like a state high school. I guess Mr. Workasty would come and have to explain how that all worked, but.
I know that's the cheerleaders as well. That can
Yeah.
be a recognized activity or sport. Our cheerleader group right now is more of a club activity. They're not competing.
They're doing a nice job.
They are. Fun to have them back.
Anyone wish to make a motion?
So moved. Move to approve the policy 902, use of school district facilities and equipment.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our second agenda item is to consider approval of the World's Best Workforce Report for 21-22, and this is something we do every year.
This reminds me to mention that our apologies from a few of our administrators. We have a few of them are not feeling well today, and so I am doing this report. This is, as you know, an annual report, the World's Best Workforce, following the state statute that requires us to have this report. It is focused on 5 areas. That is ready for kindergarten, reading well by grade 3, graduation rate, college and career ready, and I completely missed one. What did I miss? That's the third period.
Closing the achievement gap.
Closing the achievement gap, thank you. This is all information that you have received in other reports. So when we talked about our achievement data with Principal Doherty, our test scores were involved, and our strategic plans and our action plans are all aligned and laid out within this. So there is some motion at the legislature to move away from the World's Best Workforce Report because it sometimes contradicts their own language for us to have a strategic plan and action plans in place. And so it's kind of creating 2 different structures, and sometimes we're taking our existing strategic plan or our American Indian Education Plan, and we're forcing it into the World's Best Workforce Plan. And so I'm not saying that it's not a valuable exercise. It certainly is, and these are always our goal areas. However, the report, I think, is in fuller detail in our strategic plans and our action plans and the Native American education plan. So here it is. I'm not going to read through all 20 pages of it for you. In the coming weeks, we'll be bringing together a community group and sharing this report as well, and getting their thoughts for next year's plan. All of the data in this report is from the 21-22 school year, so this is last year's information.
Do we ever look at the 6-year graduation rate, or don't we have many kids that are doing that?
We go up to a 7-year graduation rate.
Okay.
This particular report is based on mostly 4-year graduation rate, but because we serve our students with IEPs to be up to the age of 21, that's where that 7-year graduation rate is especially important to look at.
Thank you.
That's on page 14. Up to the 7-year.
Oh, there it is. I got you. I overlooked it.
Anyone willing to make a motion? to
I
accept?
move that we approve the World's Best Workforce Report for 21-22.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Just from the radiator.
That was so loud.
Yeah. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our third agenda item is a resolution to establish combined polling places. Superintendent Grotza.
So each year we are
It's in
required.
the packet.
It is, right?
I don't know. It's not there.
The resolution for combined polling?
No,
So-
sorry, no, we don't have that.
So
Are you
it's-
looking at another one?
Oh, I'm
So
sorry,
we're
you
gonna
told
go-
me that.
Yeah.
And
It'll be next month.
Yep.
next month.
Okay.
Check that off the list.
Because I was going to be really surprised because I didn't know where the combined places were.
Sarah did talk to me beforehand, but I just
I guess I didn't even realize.
spaced it.
What a good teaser for the public, though.
Yes.
Next
Tune
month,
in
tune
next
in.
month.
Stay tuned.
Because it is an action item, do we need to pass a motion to table it because
Oh,
it was left on the agenda, or not really?
Yeah, what is it? Table it definitely?
I move to table until next month.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of tabling the resolution until next month?
Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. I did remember the information item, Native American Parent Advisory Committee update would be moved to a later meeting. So that brings us to the first reading of revisions to the policy manual.
And that is the partner information that went to policy 902 that you approved above with the new fee structure. The tiers of that plan are very much the same of what we've had. So our teams are the first priority, or our activities as a school district are the first activity, and then our partners have that next, I don't know, next dibs to activities, moving down all the way through commercial activities. Most of the time for our teams and our activities, it is free to use our facilities. However, the big difference you'll see in this plan is on the commercial side. We did look at what other school districts, kind of all around us, are charging, and we are more in line with what they were doing in their districts with this new plan. There was a lot of discussion around this. We made this recommendation to the committee, and then the committee had more discussion and had some recommendations for us too, that we made some changes. So I don't know if the committee members want to share anything about those discussions.
Like, I think one of the main things was to simplify this and make it more consistent. And there was kind of confusing language in we went from a trifold not to a trifold. But there was some confusing inclusions or exclusions or rules or something, and so we made this rather clear and simple as much as we could.
Yeah, I think for me, this signifies that effort to make these facilities available to district residents as much as possible, but also reflects our costs. So this doesn't reflect a lot of profit in there, but it also covers our costs associated with janitorial and other needs that we may have because of a facility rental. And I would also say Tier 3 includes non-residents. And I think it's important to know that non-residents are in the same tier as commercial as a reflection of our residents contributing to these facilities with their tax dollars. And we wanted to make that available to our residents at a different rate.
That's residents of the school district, not the city.
Who determines what personnel is required for an event?
Well, there is a form. The link to that form is on here, where they're describing what they're doing. So if it's something that is going to require a lot of cleanup, or they have a certain number of people, then we want to have staff in the building. For our partners, say the Youth Association basketball, who typically they use our facility every week. And we know that through the entire season, they're going to be using it. Instead of us hiring a supervisor for that activity, we're going to ask someone in their association if they would come and be trained on, this is where the power strip is, make sure these doors are locked, so that they're not having to pay someone to oversee that, but they can do that themselves as our close partner.
I like that.
If it's somebody who's a one-time, they're gonna come in one time, it's not an ongoing user, they may have to hire someone to supervise the building while they're in there.
And I can't remember how it was set up before, but I know part of the deal was if we had like a coach that was doing a skills camp and charging a nominal fee, like nothing to really make a profit off, but maybe they want to have enough to get them a t-shirt or something at the end, then they were falling into this high category. In a situation like that, is a teacher that is a coach, would they be considered trained, or who makes the decision of who is trained?
Well, if it's somebody who's on staff, they wouldn't have to have a supervisor.
Okay.
Unless, if they're gonna have a game at the end and they're gonna
Sure.
have,
A lot of
50
people.
parents come in, then they're gonna have to pay for a custodial to come in, and so.
So by you adding the clause of the superintendent will determine a group's classification at his or her discretion, I like that, because I felt like we were really shoved into a box before that was hurting people that we really don't want to hurt. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And then do you, in the sentence above that, it says the superintendent or his or her designee will determine the group's classification? Are you determining classification, or are you designating someone?
I think typically that will be our facilities coordinator, thank you. So she would most of the time be making that determination.
But it's one person for the entire district, so there will be continuity.
But somebody can always come to you if they run into a roadblock.
Yep.
Okay.
Then, It took me a while to figure this out. Must have been a little slow looking at this, but, so there's a different rate if you're using a gym court versus the gym. Do we have a lot of people that just rent one court?
Sure. If there's, a community group is coming in to play volleyball, or they're coming in to have just one court versus they're gonna have 3 courts going, it's just a matter of how many people you're using, how many people you have in the facility.
And then there's someone making sure that they're only using one court?
Well,
We just trust that people are honest
Yeah.
and we don't,
they step into another court and
Well, I mean, it's stepping in to retrieve a ball or something is one thing. Setting up another net might be different.
But if it's just the tier 1 status, then there's no charge
yeah.
anyway, so yeah.
thank you for the work you put in on that.
Are we doing all the policies for the first read?
I think we kind of just skipped to 3 instead of 2, but we all rolled with it. We
sorry.
rolled with it. Isn't that what happened?
Yep. Nope. Yeah, yeah.
You were so excited to talk about them.
I know. I was really thrilled. See, that's
So going
the roll.
on back to the first readings to the policy manual, so that is policy 5.6, proposing deleting that policy.
Yes.
Deleting the policy 6.14, and then policy 624, online learning options.
And that is just being brought to you as it was written because it does meet everything that we need in a policy, and we didn't currently have one, so.
Say that again, Ben. You're deleting 5.6?
Yeah. Deleting 5.6 and 6.14. So 0056, as it was a collection of pieces of other policies on quite a few different topics.
Yeah.
And so if you are actually looking for that piece of information, there's nothing about other working conditions that would have told you it was in that policy. And as we look through it, they already are included in other policies.
It was a greatest hits album, and we did not need it.
Well, I was going to say,
They've explained it.
based on, well, just reading this one, the idea about, let's see, where was it? Oh, school district imposed changes to working conditions.
That would be covered by contract.
Yeah, I mean, you can't use meet and confer for that. So that's supposed to be non-employment conditions, so. And then the substitute teachers. The law says 30 days, not 30 consecutive, so.
Exactly.
Well, good thing we're
That's
getting
what
rid
we
of that one. I don't like it.
There,
Yeah.
as we went through it, it was
It
either,
was like they were just
it should have been in contract or
redundant
covered by
somewhere
law,
else,
or-
yeah.
The only other thing I saw under teacher strikes, it says teachers shall not be permitted to enter the school district building. I'm assuming that's during the strike, but don't you usually negotiate in the school building?
I don't think so.
I think we'd have to put an exception to that.
So we're deleting.
Yeah.
That's why it's all, we're taking care of all of those.
And then 006.14, inclusive education program, all of those things are covered by law or statute or other areas of policy. So that too is going for deletion.
I have no problems with deleting them because I didn't understand some of the language.
We'll move on to number 4 is going to share the Community and Family Ed report and profile.
I filled in for everybody tonight, but Tammy's here.
Tammy's here, yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for providing me with this opportunity to tell you about our programs. One of the unique things about community ed is that every community education department is different, no matter what community you live in. And the reason for that is we're really designed to meet the needs of our community. So our programs look different. Some of them are the same as Mankato, but then some of them are very different than what you'll see in other communities. And if you look at the very first set of pictures, I have lots of pictures in this, which is so nice with community ed. You can snap a lot of photos, but the top 3 are from our summer program that we did, the Spark, which was an art in the community program. And this year we served over 300 kids. It was over a 7-week period. We were in different locations where our students live, and the neat thing is we had a grant that supported all of it, and we were able to provide 2 guest artists as well. And then if you look at the lower photo, those are our adult learners in the Adult Basic Education program. And so you'll see that 4 of them received their GED, and 2 of them went through all of the citizenship preparation classes and then became citizens as well. So just a couple things I wanted to highlight, but we like to think in community ed that we're not only strengthening our community, but we're strengthening our schools. And we do that in a lot of different ways. One of the prime things we do is providing safe, accessible learning environments and opportunities for people in all ages. With community ed, we have access to all of the school district's buildings, and so we're able to have an opportunity for community members to be able to come in, use our buildings. And one of the things that we have found is that there have been studies showing that adults who are part of community education programs are much more likely to be supportive of the school district after they no longer have kids in the school district. They still see that kind of tie. So it's great that we can provide them with those opportunities. Another thing that we do is we connect families to school and community resources. We do that in a number of ways, but one of the main ways is through early childhood family education classes and the school readiness preschool program. We also partner with the Food Shelf to offer the Children's Weekend Food Program and the Teen Pantry in our schools. And we collaborate with organizations like the Recreation Department, the Senior Center, the Historical Society, and the Art Center to provide a variety of programming as well. Another thing we do is help prepare children for kindergarten. You've all heard from Eve about all the great programs that she provides. Her staff, they do an excellent job with all of this, and we are so lucky to have such a great program for our youngest learners. This is also a way that community education helps our district meet one of the state's world's best workforce goals. Another thing we do is we support working families by providing after-school childcare for students. We have 2 different locations. One of them is at South Elementary and the other at North. During the past school year, we served 177 children. That also includes a summer program that we ran. Shayna C. is our coordinator of that. She does a great job. She has a phenomenal staff. We employ a lot of college students who are enrolled at Gustavus and MSU and are elementary ed majors, which works really well in our favor. If you look at the 3 pictures in the bottom here, they're all from our summer programming, but I really like the one in the middle with the kids holding hands, because one of the things that we really work with students is helping them develop good, healthy friendships with one another. And so I think that picture really embodies some of the goals that we have. We also expand learning beyond the school day. Our after-school enrichment programs really help support students' social, emotional, and academic needs. They also help in reducing the achievement gap for some of our students. And we, through our after-school programs, provide opportunities for students to explore interests. and develop new appreciation for things. We help to provide that spark for them. So students who enroll in things like our music classes or STEM classes, they learn some critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and then those skills also transfer into the actual learning day. Another area is providing leadership and service activities for kids. That really helps mitigate some of the risk-taking behaviors of students. And if you look at the 3 pictures below that, the first one is our summer beginning band program. The middle is a STEAM class that was held at North. And then the far right one is a Computer Explorer class that we had up at the high school. And as I talked about too, the Spark program in the summer, great program for us. Another thing that we do is we partner with the Recreation Department, and they offer things like the VIP program. We help support those programs with some of our funding. Another way that we support our community is by helping build a qualified workforce. And we do that through our adult basic education programs. Those help people acquire the skills that they need to become fully employed and self-sufficient. We offer, in addition to offering high school diploma and GED classes, we also offer English language and citizenship classes. The great thing about these classes, they're all free. And so last year, we served people from a variety of countries. They were El Salvador, Ethiopia, Ghana, Guatemala, Mexico, Samoa, Somalia, and Thailand. And as I talked to you, we had students that earned their GED, went through the citizenship prep class. We also provide a Bridge to Work Readiness job skills class that helps people learn the skills that they need in order to get a job and then keep that job. And kind of a neat thing, I was talking with one of our adult basic education teachers today, and she shared that this past year we had a local business reach out to us because they had an employee that they wanted to promote, but they needed help with their English. And so they wondered if that person could come and take classes through us and get their proficiency up so that they could promote them. And so that was one way that we helped people. We had another individual. She earned a college degree in another country, but that degree was not, she was not able to really secure the employment that she wanted here in the United States with that degree. Again, she reached out to us and said, I really want to learn to speak English well enough to where I can use my degree, advocate for myself, and get a better job. So she took classes, and again, she was someone who was successful in finding a better position for herself. So really neat ways that we help our community. Another thing we do is we work to improve the quality of life for people. So if you take a community education class, it can help you with reducing stress. It can also help you foster creativity. You can learn new skills. So things like enrolling in an art class is often a great way for people to meet one another and to also learn some ways to deal with stress, or learning to speak a new language. Gaining skills when you're a more mature driver, like taking that 55 Alive driver safety class, is another great way. In the picture on the right-hand side, it's from a Star Watch class that we had with Mike Lynch from WCCO Radio, and that was held up at the high school last spring. And the final way that we really help people connect with one another is by creating a sense of belonging. And we do that by providing people with lots of opportunities to gather together, whether it's attending the Women Celebrating Women event or going to one of our cross-cultural learning experiences, coming to a documentary out at the Historical Society. There are lots of ways that we connect people and help them build community. And the last picture here is from after 2 years of being on hiatus, we were finally able to offer the Women Celebrating Women event. And so this is a picture of Margie Nelson with her award. And if you look at the very back page, these are just a few little things about the program during the last school year. We worked with 25 different organizations and businesses to offer the programming that we did, and we served 11,049 people, which is an 86% growth from the year before. Now, we know that that was a COVID year, but I'm excited to see that our numbers are building up. This is still lower than what we were pre-COVID, but it is well on its way back to, I think, our pre-COVID numbers. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is great, and those numbers are pretty astounding. It's great to see.
Thanks.
Any questions? Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Building principals.
Just one wave tonight.
Just one way.
50% power. I'm not used to the middle.
Welcome, Darren.
The more important way.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yep, for sure.
Well, let's start at your end. Let's
Oh,
really mix things
okay.
up.
All right, well, I'm glad to be here. I was out sick last week, so I hope that's not what they have. Night school just started session 2 last week, and we've got 31 students enrolled in this session of night school, so that's really great. More than double what we had session 1. So glad that kids are getting signed up, getting that communication, and feeling empowered to take that step. Session 3 will start after winter break. We'll get information out, and then at the end of quarter 2, we'll get that session 3 rolling. Right now at Rock Bend, we had a group of students attend the Construct Tomorrow event in Mankato last week, learning about construction trade jobs, apprenticeships, things like that. Really enjoyed it, came back really excited. We've got Naviance up and running at Rock Bend, which is a great kind of expansion from starting it at the high school. So the kids were researching the careers that they saw at Construct Tomorrow afterwards. So that was great. After Thanksgiving, we have our 3rd and final Minnesota history presentation here at the community center. That's something that Tammy worked on. So yeah, we're just really rolling at Rock Bend right now.
Very good. Well, greetings from North Elementary School. First couple items on here are definitely seasonal with the Giving Week going on. You probably heard it was the 6th annual North Clothes Closet on Friday and Sunday, and that was started when a 9th grader, this year 9th grader, Quinn Rosbach, was in 4th grade. And so this is the 6th year of that already. And that gathers quite a bit of information. Quinn puts this on all by herself. We create the space for her, but her thought when she was in 4th grade was just like, how can we give back to the community when there's so many kids and families that need boots or snow pants and jackets and stuff like that. And on Friday, there was a lineup outside the north door, like at 5 o'clock. People like going right to the winter gear. So I think I heard they served well over 200 people. We did get calls at North from surrounding communities too, like people were calling from Nicollet, New Ulm, and Cleveland to see if they could also attend the event. And all the items there are donated, and then they just put them on display. They put them all over in the gym, and they're free. Just families come in and take it and just repurpose it. So what a great event. She was already talking about, since she's in 9th grade, she wants to carry it through her senior year and then start training some middle school students to take it over when she's in upper senior high. So pretty cool. Yep, just keeps going. Along that same line, last year North started a project called the Giving Tree, and it's modeled after Shel Silverstein's book. It's in the front hallway when you walk in the front door. It's on the left-hand side. It goes all year long, and it's exactly what it says. Like, there's little apples on there and items that families can choose to bring and donate. And that's been a pretty hot topic, I guess, in the school right now with families in need. And so we just want to thank all the families that take part in that. Completely voluntary, and those items are coming in all the time. So thank you to the community for all that. Every year, 4th graders get a chance to make some drawings for the cover of the yearbook. And so those winners have been announced in South and North. Students all vote on them. We just put them in a Google form and usually narrow down from 50 people that students have put them in down to about 6.
And so we have our winners, the front and back. Beatrice Combs earned the most votes for the front, really great design. And then Osri Alas will get the back. And they put a lot of time in those. And so I really appreciate their talent, their artistic talent that they put on. We had the book fair going over the conference nights, and lots of families coming through. Our conferences have now been over for a couple weeks ago already. But that was, those are great events. Students are very excited to come in. The families are coming out all the time, and the money generated, if we get any money back, because Scholastic really marks those down a lot, the books that are there. We end up giving a lot of books away back to the students, to the teachers, to order some books for the classroom, and then boost the collection in the library. So appreciate families and students taking part in that. And of course, Wednesday, we have to have our annual turkey bingo at North. If you want to join us, you certainly can. We do a live broadcast over YouTube or Google Meet or wherever, and then the students just watch from their classroom and have a little Thanksgiving turkey board, and then if they win, they have to gobble all the way down the hallway with their wings flapping. Get a prize table down at the end, so if you want to see some gobbling second graders down the hallway, it's quite the sight to see. It's one of my favorite events, so join us.
As Mr. Doherty mentioned, we too completed conferences, so we run them at the same time, K-8. So we have wonderful attendance. It's honestly less than 1 to 2 parents per classroom that do not come in, and most of them come in. We do offer them virtually as well if parents would prefer to do it from the comfort of their own homes. So it's always fun to see them in and the excitement, especially at the kindergarten level, to finally come in and hear how things are going at school. We also had the opportunity to take part in the cultural trunk. The Native American Parent Advisory Council put that together, and it was amazing. They had the entire book nook was filled. They had little cards so that teachers were able to take their classes in there and describe what the item was, how it was used. And we also had the opportunity to learn about some of the sacred things that were shared. John Warren's, his daughter's wedding dress was there that was made from buckskin, and his wife had sewn it. So it was so rich with, authentic pieces, and the students just had a great chance to learn a little bit about that Native American culture. And we were lucky enough to have it first, and I sent a video to the rest of the team and said that it was just very, very impressive, and generated lots of questions from the students as well. And we also had the cast of Shrek come to visit us last week, and it was amazing. Mrs. Engeldinger is not here tonight, but I think all of us that went can attest to the fact that it was a fantastic performance, and the excitement in that gym when the cast was there was just, it was powerful, and I know that it probably helped to increase the sales of tickets because the kids were very excited to see it happen. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is that we were able to screen all 380 students of SELF last week on vision and hearing through the use of volunteers. So we had volunteers come in for a couple of hours for 2 mornings, and they were able to get through everyone. So everyone's vision and hearing is checked. It has been checked, and they will recheck anyone that didn't pass, and the nurses do that individually, and then we'll notify parents. So it always seems to be a run on new glasses once those notes go home. So we'd like to thank the volunteers that took time out of their day to come and help us with that.
Thank you.
Superintendent Crosser.
Yes, it's my turn. Last month I was unfortunately starting my report with our condolences to the family of Darren Johnson, and this month I'm starting the report much the same with condolences for the family of Emily Kroc, who is one of our EL teachers. She's a mother, she's an active community member, and this past week our staff was once again coming together, supporting each other, supporting our students, and it's been a tough month for us, and hopefully we're moving on. But one of the things that I've really come to appreciate is how our staff members support each other. And, you know, they lean on each other when they need to, but they also support all of our students and really care for them and for our community. So thank you to all of the efforts that have gone into that this week. And again, our condolences to the family of Emily Croft. Now to talk about something lighter and much more fun was the Shrek production. I was there twice. I bet Member Dixon was there 4 times. I was there twice, and it was just about full. And I saw that the ticket sales for each of them were just about maxed out. I think that was the most sold out show that they can remember having. And the talent of our students was incredible. The singing, the dancing, the acting, the timing, even the lighting until the board blew. And it just, everything was so well done. I'm just really proud of everything that they've done, and our staff members who, you know, the director for acting and the director for dancing, the director for music, the staff member who helped to build the sets. And it's just, again, everything everyone does, making it a super show. Can't wait to see how they top that next year. Winter activities. I think the last of the activities started today. We have hockey and basketball and wrestling, and things are going along well. I've been to a few hockey games and can't wait to watch some basketball and wrestling as well. Unfortunately, influenza has been hitting us quite hard. Today we had about 20% of the middle school out with influenza. That's why half of our admin team is gone, I think. So we did send a message out to everyone today just to be aware that there are quite a few cases of influenza, some of the common symptoms to watch out for. You know, it's not that long ago we were talking the same way about another thing, but I'm just not even going to say it. So moving on, Thanksgiving break week is upon us. We have a short week. We have 2 more days, and I hope that everyone finds some time to rest, to spend time with family, or to do the things that give you peace and joy and comfort, and that everyone can keep their germs to themselves. And we all come back healthy next week. That completes my report, Chair Leonard.
Thank you. Board members around the table. Charlie?
Nothing.
I don't have anything.
I was just gonna say that everybody should make sure and enjoy the extra long weekend, but
Yeah.
kind of stole my thunder, so that's all I got.
Nothing. Kate?
Nothing.
Yeah, I went to the Saints Cafe.
Oh, yeah.
If no one can make it on the 15th, I can.
Wonderful.
So it's kind of an interesting, I don't get a lot of people there, but do have some nice conversations with members. Carrie Johnson is pushing her SMART program with firearm safety, so it's interesting. And I too would like to add my appreciation of Shrek. Good time.
So you mentioned the Saints Cafe is on the 15th.
It's December 15th at
Family Fresh.
Family Fresh in the deli area. And if there are board members who would like to join me, there's one so far, can have up to 3.
And what time?
7:30 to 9 o'clock.
And people can come anytime within that, just to ask Superintendent Gronseth or the board a question. It's
Or
it's
just
great.
say hi.
Yeah, or just say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is an administrator.
Yep. And this month it is Gus Sorbo, our technology director, and E.T. Prafke, our early childhood coordinator and HR professional.
Excellent.
Thank you for the reminder of the influenza. I have not gotten my flu shot yet, so I will be doing that. A little behind schedule. And two, yes, for the Shrek the Musical, to all the students, the singers, the players, the technical people, the directors, everyone who supported that whole thing, it was truly amazing. It made St. Peter look really good. It was a beautiful space. That theater was like, they used it. It was a lot of fun. So good job to everyone. Very proud.
Excellent, thank you. Upcoming meetings of the school board, policy committee on the 30th at 4 p.m. in the district office. Study session on December 5th in the St. Peter Middle School Media Center. Education committee, December 13th at 1 p.m. in the district office, and the business committee on the 14th of December at 4 p.m. in the district office. With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Are we meeting next Monday?
Yes. You have your session with Longview.
Oh, and that is in the middle school media center at 6:30?
That wasn't on here, that's why.
Yes, thank you, on Monday.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are adjourned.